Wong Lin, wearing crimson armor marked by a white vermilion bird tattoo and with white hair, had a strange and imposing temperament. Although he was fused with the vermilion bird's true spirit and possessed powerful fire origin energy, his face remained pale. Sundered Night had been extraordinarily powerful, but Wong Lin had only gained a tiny grasp of the law of origin, and forcibly using it had caused severe consequences. The spell had reached an unprecedented peak because of the manifestation of the law of origin, the vermilion bird's true spirit, Wong Lin's second awakening, and his desperation. It was something he could not reproduce a second time. And even if he could, its power would be far weaker. His origin soul remained severely weakened, while the blood sword from the grey-robed All-Seer's desperate attack was still embedded inside his body and had pierced his origin soul. Every breath brought intense pain from his chest. Only his exceptionally resilient 5-star ancient god body had allowed him to survive the injury. But the pain could not be suppressed because the blood sword contained the cold slaughter energy that formed the foundation of the grey-robed All-Seer's spells. Despite the agony, Wong Lin refused to fall or make a sound. He looked past the vermilion bird divine sect toward the All-Seer and ancient devil Ta Jia. Although his fire origin energy normally prevented him from feeling cold, his weakened origin soul made him feel as if he were trapped in a world of snow and covered in ice. The old man who had called out earlier identified them as the vanguard of the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect and said that almost the entire sect had been dispatched to guarantee Wong Lin's safety. Wong Lin acknowledged their arrival and endured the pain, remembering their assistance regardless of their reasons. However, he still felt no true sense of security, especially when Ta Jia's strange gaze swept over them. The Flower Imperial Concubine, Situ Nan, Wang Wei, Hu Wan, and the others moved toward the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect, clearly separating themselves from the All-Seer and Ta Jia. Ta Jia believed that nearly everyone who should arrive had already appeared, and he became determined to kill Wong Lin. Previously, he had not considered Wong Lin important, since even Wong Lin's royal bloodline was insignificant compared with the ancient inheritance Ta Jia sought. But Wong Lin's shocking transformation and the power of Sundered Night forced Ta Jia to take him seriously. Ta Jia also vaguely sensed that Wong Lin's arrival was part of Qing Lin's plan, giving him an uneasy feeling that would disappear only if Wong Lin died. The All-Seer likewise stated that Wong Lin had repeatedly disrupted his plans and had become a variable within the Celestial Emperor Cave. If Wong Lin died, that variable would disappear and all of Qing Lin's arrangements would become useless. Ta Jia then charged forward with a bloodthirsty smile, accompanied by the mysterious human-shaped creature, while the All-Seer formed seals and sent his remaining 5 avatars toward the others. The All-Seer himself waved his hand, causing black and white colors to spread into the heavens and intertwine into a strange chaos. He sat down, closed his eyes, formed another seal with his left hand, and began muttering an extremely faint and unclear incantation. An ancient void seemed to emerge from the chaos, as if something within it were whispering. Everyone who heard it felt fear and the pressure of a natural enemy. While the earth trembled violently beneath the pressure from above, the shaking soon reached its limit. Thunderous sounds echoed, and countless cracks spread across the ground. In an instant, the land within 50 kilometers shattered and rose into the sky like a massive pillar, disappearing into the black and white chaos. Wong Lin watched grimly as the earth continued to shake and black and white mist blocked both vision and divine sense. Ta Jia quickly reached the battlefield, prompting the 6 Nirvana Shatterer Elders of the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect to attack. They formed seals and summoned a vast sea of flames. But Ta Jia sneered and swung his blade, sending blade energy forward that forced the flames back and split the entire sea of fire in two. The All-Seer's avatars also approached, causing Wang Wei and Hu Wan to charge forward while the Flower Imperial Concubine moved to confront them. At the same time, nearly 100 disciples of the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect independently sat down in the lotus position and formed seals. Their origin souls flew out, and astonishingly, all of them began merging together. Normally, origin souls could not coexist or fuse because differences in cultivation domains made such fusion impossible. And any apparent fusion would instead be devouring unless a heaven-defying treasure was involved. Yet these nearly 100 origin souls rapidly merged into a flame giant hundreds of feet tall, which roared and charged toward ancient devil Ta Jia. Wong Lin was surprised and developed a deeper curiosity about the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect. The 6 Nirvana Shatterer cultivators and the enormous flame giant fought Ta Jia, while Wang Wei, Hu Wan, and the Flower Imperial concubine fought the All-Seer's 5 avatars. Master Hollow Wind, Situ Nan, who was forcibly suppressing his poison, Big Head, and the others provided support with their spells, causing the battle to become extremely intense. The Flower Imperial concubine not only had to fight an All-Seer avatar but also the mysterious human-shaped creature. While the entire 50-kilometer battlefield shook violently and countless spells flashed across the land, Wong Lin remained seated in the lotus position, unable to heal because of the ongoing battle. His chest continued to cause unbearable pain, making his face increasingly pale, so he could only consume large quantities of pills to forcibly suppress his injuries. Meanwhile, the All-Seer, who was also sitting down, suddenly opened his eyes and stared at Wong Lin. He raised his hand and pointed toward the sky, causing a roar to emerge from the black and white chaos. Amid the roar, a headless figure walked out. It possessed a powerful body, carried a red spear in its right hand, and radiated a savage aura. Dense black mist immediately emerged from its body and formed black armor around it. Without a word, the headless figure charged toward Wong Lin and reached him almost instantly, thrusting its spear forward like a black gust of wind. Although Wong Lin was severely weakened, killing him was still difficult. At the critical moment, his gaze became cold and his right eye flashed blue, summoning the azure light shield before him. The red spear struck the shield with a loud impact. Cracks already covered the shield, and although it did not break further, the force pushed it back several inches. The headless figure was forced back 3 steps, but its black armor flashed brightly and it immediately charged again. Taking advantage of the brief retreat, Wong Lin opened his mouth and spat out the 18 Hell Celestial Sealing Stamp. He then reached into the void with his right hand, causing a crystal light to appear in his palm. He ruthlessly threw it forward and shouted, "Magic Arsenal!" The crystal light immediately became brilliant, while mournful cries came from the souls trapped within the 18 Hell Celestial Sealing Stamp and unable to enter reincarnation. The souls rushed out from the stamp and entered the specks of light, strengthening them and releasing a powerful wave of yin energy. Most terrifyingly, Master Void's soul emerged from the 18th layer of hell. With bloodshot eyes and a beast-like roar, Master Void charged directly toward the headless figure. Wong Lin greatly admired Bai Fan whenever he used Magic Arsenal, because Bai Fan had created a heaven-defying spell that trapped the souls of those Wong Lin had killed, preventing them from entering the incarnation cycle or dissipating from the world. The spell nearly crossed the boundary of replacing the heavens in passing judgment. Master Void's soul then charged out with an overwhelming killing intent, even surpassing that of the headless person. Having died with immense resentment, Master Void had been a peak Nirvana Shatterer cultivator undergoing his first Heaven's Blight, making his soul extremely powerful. He immediately battled the headless person, while countless other souls joined him, quickly reversing the situation. However, Wong Lin had paid a heavy price. Bai Fan's spell had consumed almost all of the celestial origin energy he had left. Without esteemed Zan Bao's origin soul supplying additional celestial origin energy, Wong Lin would have exhausted it long ago. Even with that support, his celestial origin energy was running low. If he could not find more celestial origin souls, he would eventually be unable to use Bai Fan's spells anymore. He could still use Call the Wind, but without celestial origin energy, its power would be much weaker. The All-Seer, watching from afar, frowned because he had not expected Wong Lin to still possess another trump card. He formed a seal with his right hand and pointed toward the sky. The black and white chaos churned violently, and the head of a huge black python suddenly appeared. The python had a horn, black scales, and vivid tattoos covering its body. Its cold eyes locked onto Wong Lin as it charged at him. A half-rotten black Qilin also emerged from the chaos, releasing a foul rotting smell and charging toward Wong Lin with a roar. After it came 5 more headless people. They followed the Qilin and surrounded Master Void, attacking him together as if countless creatures existed within the chaos. Wong Lin considered summoning the 2 All-Seer avatars trapped in the 18th layer of hell. But he quickly realized that the All-Seer was probably deliberately sending these creatures one after another in order to force him to summon those avatars. Wong Lin did not care whether his guess was correct, but he disliked the idea of summoning the All-Seer's avatars before facing the All-Seer's true body. As the black python rapidly approached, Wong Lin closed his eyes. His armor released a brilliant light, and the white vermilion bird flew out toward the python. Their roars and cries echoed through the battlefield. The All-Seer immediately revealed a smile and stood up. Besides the two avatars, the vermilion bird was also what he had been waiting for. He stepped directly toward Wong Lin, ignored him, and reached for the white vermilion bird. He stated that his heavenly Fate 4 spirit was missing only the vermilion bird spirit and that obtaining it would be a joyous occasion. The white vermilion bird released tremendous flames, but the All-Seer's hand pierced through them and reached toward it. At the same time, the python avoided the vermilion bird and charged toward Wong Lin, opening its mouth to devour him. Although Wong Lin's face was pale, he showed no fear. A vortex appeared between his eyebrows, and his weakened origin soul emerged. The ancient thunder dragon origin soul roared. Although the roar further weakened Wong Lin's origin soul, it caused the python to scream miserably. Countless bolts of lightning appeared across its body. Fear filled its eyes, and it abandoned its attack to retreat. At that moment, the chaos covering the surrounding 50 kilometers began to churn, and thunderous roars came from outside. Even the All-Seer was shocked. Countless bolts of thunder pierced through the chaos and surrounded the python, while the All-Seer was also caught within the thunder. Under the relentless thunder, the python screamed and its body collapsed. Killing intent flashed in the All-Seer's eyes because he had not expected Wong Lin to still possess such a spell. Nevertheless, he continued forward. His right hand grabbed toward the white vermilion bird while his left hand struck down toward Wong Lin, declaring that no one could save him. The 6 elders of the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect wanted to assist Wong Lin, but ancient devil Ta Jia was too powerful. Even the 6 elders together with the flame giant were already at a disadvantage. 3 elders coughed blood and were seriously injured, making it extremely difficult for them to rescue Wong Lin despite being nearby. The All-Seer's palm descended as a killing blow. Wong Lin's right eye flashed blue and produced the azure light shield. But the shield immediately cracked apart when it collided with the palm and returned to his right eye. Using the brief moment of protection it provided, Wong Lin reached into the void and summoned the god-slaying spear. Because he was severely injured, he could only summon an illusion of the god-slaying spear and could not display its full power. The spear struck the All-Seer's palm but immediately shattered into specks of light. Although the attack was insufficient to stop the All-Seer, it bought Wong Lin precious time. The All-Seer's right hand became numb, and his killing intent intensified. He finally understood how difficult Wong Lin was to kill, but he became even more determined to kill him. Wong Lin, seeing that the god-slaying spear had bought him time, roared that if the All-Seer wanted to kill him, he would have to pay a price. His third eye appeared between his eyebrows and suddenly opened toward the All-Seer. This marked the second battle between the former teacher and disciple since their confrontation on planet Tian Yun. One sought to kill, while the other struggled to survive, making them completely incompatible like water and fire. The third eye released a red light containing Wong Lin's remaining source origin. The red light enveloped the All-Seer's palm and body. Even the All-Seer trembled and cried out, recognizing the power as source origin. His body rapidly dissipated under its effect, while thousands of images of the All-Seer appeared behind him, seemingly struggling and roaring angrily. It was as though the source origin had disrupted some kind of balance. While the All-Seer was forced to stop, one of the 6 Vermilion Bird Divine Sect elders made a determined decision. Their mission was to protect Wong Lin, and allowing him to die would mean destroying the hope of the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect. The elder, carrying the accumulated sorrow and frustration of tens of thousands of years, opened his arms and began detonating his origin soul. The Nirvana Shatterer cultivator chose self-destruction. His death produced a heaven-shaking destructive aura and an immense impact. Although Wong Lin did not even know his name, the elder was willing to sacrifice everything for the hope of the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect. As his body exploded, his origin soul unleashed an unimaginable impact. The All-Seer reacted immediately by reaching toward the space between his eyebrows. Where 3 marks appeared, he tore apart one of the marks, causing his cultivation and power to surge dramatically. The resulting storm blocked Wong Lin's source origin and resisted the impact of the elder's self-destruction. Using the opportunity created by the Nirvana Shatterer elder's sacrifice, Wong Lin rapidly retreated and finally created distance from the All-Seer. After destroying the first mark, the All-Seer's white hair continued to flow. while his previously aged face became much younger. He now looked like a middle-aged man around 50 years old, and the aura released by his body caused everyone to draw a cold breath. Even ancient devil Ta Jia narrowed his eyes. The All-Seer revealed that it had been nearly 20,000 years since he had opened this first seal. Wong Lin had forced him to open it and release the full power of his first heaven's blight, proving that taking Wong Lin as his disciple had not been in vain. At this moment, an army of more than 10,000 cultivators appeared outside the dust surrounding the demon spirit land. They were led by a white-robed elder overflowing with celestial spiritual energy and accompanied by nearly 100 celestials. They were the remnants of the Rain celestial realm. The white-robed elder was the celestial lord second only to celestial lord Qing Shuang and also an elder of the alliance, with power just below Master Zhang Zan. At the same time, an illusory figure moved through the stars. Although he appeared to move slowly, each step crossed an immeasurable distance. He was the origin soul of the Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor. Two additional figures were also approaching the demon spirit land: the old man from the brilliant void realm and Mu Bingmei. A strange, boundless domain existed in the star system and was one of the Cultivation Alliance's forbidden lands. From a distance, it appeared like an illusory world, with towering trees and endless grass that looked unreal. A vast jungle floated in boundless space as if it had always existed there. Dense wood origin energy filled the domain, forming a persistent green mist. Any cultivator who approached would find their origin energy stop circulating, and some would even have their origin energy completely disappear. Even the Cultivation Alliance feared this place and designated it a forbidden zone. Only a few ancient old monsters still retained vague memories of the green mist-covered region. This was the location of the four divine sects' Azure Dragon Divine Sect. At this moment, a middle-aged man appeared in the distance. His eyes contained reminiscence and melancholy as he looked at the Azure Dragon Divine Sect and sighed. He raised his right hand and pointed forward, causing the shadow of a vermilion bird to appear and cry out as it charged into the green mist. Soon afterward, 9 old men emerged from the green light. 3 of them had white hair and faces marked by the passage of time, while 6 elders followed behind them. Upon seeing the middle-aged man, they respectfully greeted the Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor. The middle-aged man was the Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor's origin soul. He explained that the Vermilion Bird Awakener had appeared and that he needed to borrow the Azure Dragon Divine Sect's holy treasure and have them accompany him. He had already visited the Black Tortoise Divine Sect and White Tiger Divine Sect, making the Azure Dragon Divine Sect the last one. The 9 elders exchanged glances, and one of the 3 leading elders respectfully agreed to obey his order. In the demon spirit land, Wong Lin had escaped from the All-Seer by relying on the self-destruction of one of the 6 Vermilion Bird Divine Sect elders. His eyes were completely red, and intense pain filled his heart because of his injuries. The 5 remaining Vermilion Bird Divine Sect elders had been unable to help him. None were peak Nirvana Shatterer cultivators. Most were only in the early or middle stages, and they were already struggling against ancient devil Ta Jia. The slightest distraction could leave them seriously injured. Surrounded by flames and protected by numerous magic treasures, they used void treasures that the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect had accumulated over countless years. Although these treasures were inferior to pseudo-Nirvana void treasures, their combined power with the Flame Giant and the Flower Imperial Concubine, who had subdued the human-like entity, allowed them to confront the ancient devil. However, whenever ancient devil Ta Jia used his spells, they were clearly at a disadvantage. After tearing the mark from between his eyebrows, the All-Seer possessed a powerful aura and calmly approached Wong Lin. He declared that Wong Lin could laugh in hell after being killed by him while he was only at the first heaven's blight. With one step, a storm erupted and swept toward Wong Lin before the All-Seer even reached him. The storm cut into Wong Lin like countless knives, producing cracking sounds and knocking him backward. Wong Lin coughed blood and revealed a fierce expression. Throughout his cultivation life, his struggle and resilience had repeatedly allowed him to survive situations that should have killed him. Despite the blood at the corner of his mouth, Wong Lin slapped his storage bag and summoned dozens of flying swords. With a roar, he directed them at the All-Seer, while simultaneously taking out the 3rd god-slaying war chariot. The war chariot transformed into a butterfly, and when it flapped its wings, laws appeared. The All-Seer remained calm and continued walking, facing the dozens of swords. He merely moved his mouth as if chanting a spell. The swords suddenly stopped in midair, then exploded with a thunderous rumble. Their fragments flew back toward Wong Lin and, through an unknown spell cast by the All-Seer, gathered into the shape of a dragon covered in sharp sword fragments. The fragment dragon charged toward Wong Lin but collided with the butterfly. As the butterfly flapped its wings, harsh metallic sounds rang out, and the dragon quickly shattered into powder that scattered away. Wong Lin's scalp went numb because this was the first time he had encountered an opponent whose spell he could not even understand before nearly being killed by it. If he had not immediately summoned the god-slaying war chariot, he would have been caught completely unprepared. The butterfly flapped its wings again, sending invisible wind-containing law toward the All-Seer. The All-Seer remained expressionless and chanted another spell. Earth-shattering explosions erupted before the butterfly, creating layers of ripples that made it tremble and show signs of collapse. Wong Lin struggled deeply, formed a seal with his hand, coughed a large amount of blood onto the butterfly, and shouted for the third seal to activate. The butterfly trembled and flapped its wings again. 4 incomplete petals appeared above it and floated forward as the butterfly moved. The All-Seer was slightly surprised. He raised his right hand and waved it, causing countless fragments to appear in the void as if the sky itself had been shattered. The fragments swept toward Wong Lin. Although the butterfly had released its 4 petals, they had no time to display their true power before the fragments passed through Wong Lin's position and disappeared. At the same moment, the All-Seer closed in and calmly pointed his right index finger directly between Wong Lin's eyebrows. If the finger landed, even Wong Lin's ancient god body would immediately collapse and his weakened origin soul would instantly disappear, ending Wong Lin's existence completely. The All-Seer's strength felt like an enormous mountain standing before Wong Lin. He instinctively felt that he could not resist and could never cross that mountain. But he suppressed this feeling the instant it arose. Wong Lin roared that he was unwilling to accept this fate. As the All-Seer's finger descended, Wong Lin pulled out a sword sheath from his storage bag and held it before him. The All-Seer's finger struck the sword sheath with a heaven-shaking sound, causing cracks to appear on it. Although the sheath did not break, the force sent Wong Lin flying into the distance. Wong Lin coughed out a large amount of blood. His vision blurred, his origin soul was nearly torn apart, and his body and soul felt as though they were about to collapse. The only thing holding him together was his unwillingness to surrender and his will to defy the heavens. The All-Seer paused because the rebound from the sword sheath had shocked him despite his calm appearance. Killing intent flashed through his eyes, and he stepped forward, seemingly teleporting directly before Wong Lin. He raised his right hand and prepared to strike him down. At that instant, intense killing intent erupted from deep within the demon spirit land. The ground exploded, and a tattoo-covered figure emerged from beneath it, moving several times faster than the All-Seer. The figure rushed forward like lightning and roared that anyone who hurt his lord would become Ta Shan's mortal enemy. As the All-Seer's palm descended, Ta Shan threw out an animal skin talisman. The talisman burned into smoke, causing Ta Shan's speed to increase several times. He instantly arrived before Wong Lin and blocked the palm. A thunderous rumble echoed as Ta Shan retreated while carrying Wong Lin. He coughed blood, and many of the tattoos on his body collapsed, but he maintained a ferocious expression. The smoke surrounding him rapidly entered his body to heal his injuries, while part of it entered Wong Lin's body as well. At the same moment, Big Head let out a miserable scream. His body had been destroyed by the All-Seer's avatar, leaving his origin soul seriously injured and on the verge of destruction. The severely wounded Lei Ji, who was nearby, suddenly roared and rushed forward. He moved in front of Big Head and collided with the attack from the All-Seer's avatar. Lei Ji's body collapsed, and his origin soul nearly dissipated. Master Hollow Wind immediately waved his sleeves and collected Lei Ji's origin soul. But one of the All-Seer's avatars pierced Master Hollow Wind's chest with a sword. Master Hollow Wind coughed blood and retreated with a miserable smile before moving toward the 2 Chen brothers, who were also seriously injured. Ta Jia spread his arms, causing the illusion of a crescent moon to appear behind him. With the technique, Moon Burial, the void treasures before the 5 elders collapsed, blasting them backward and causing them to cough up blood. The flame giant formed by nearly 100 disciples of the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect also collapsed, returning their nearly 100 origin souls to their bodies. All of them coughed out large amounts of blood. The All-Seer ignored this and looked at the tattoo-covered Ta Shan, saying that he had been hiding below for a long time and that he had thought Ta Shan would never come out. Ta Shan had indeed intended to remain hidden because this battle had little to do with him. However, when Wong Lin faced a life-or-death crisis, Wong Lin's roar caused Ta Shan to lose control and charge out. Wong Lin was haggard, but his eyes had become sharper. Ta Shan was supporting him. With blood flowing from the corner of his mouth, Wong Lin told Ta Shan to let go of him and go help Big Head. Clenching the sword sheath, Wong Lin stared at the All-Seer with monstrous killing intent, seeming to return to the state he had possessed on planet Suzaku. Like a fiend filled with overwhelming killing intent, he declared that he was a heaven-defying cultivator and that even if he died, he would die with an indomitable spirit, because there was nothing to fear in life when death was the only end. The sword sheath shattered, leaving only the rusty iron sword. Ta Shan hesitated before silently retreating, and then suddenly turned and charged toward Big Head and Master Hollow Wind. Wong Lin had ordered him away because he understood that even with the Tattoo Clan Holy Ancestors' inheritance, Ta Shan's cultivation was still insufficient to stop the All-Seer. Although Ta Shan had not appeared seriously injured by the previous attack, Wong Lin knew he could not withstand another one. Holding the iron sword, Wong Lin took a deep breath and looked at the All-Seer with bitterness. He called him teacher once more, saying that without him he did not know where he would have ended up. He asked that if he died, the All-Seer bury him on planet Suzaku, his homeland, even if he could not enter the reincarnation cycle. He also asked the All-Seer to spare Situ Nan and the others, since they had nothing to do with him. The All-Seer calmly pondered and nodded. Wong Lin laughed arrogantly despite his pain and fragmenting origin soul. His hands remained steady as he raised the iron sword, calling out, All-Seer. He poured all the origin energy in his body into the sword. A harsh sword hymn sounded, and a giant sword illusion appeared and swept toward the All-Seer. Wong Lin continuously launched sword strikes. The All-Seer remained motionless and calmly endured them. The strikes continued from the 1st through the 9th, surrounding him and replacing all other light. At the 19th strike, Wong Lin coughed blood and the crimson armor on his body dimmed. He continued through the 20th, 21st, and 23rd strikes. When he reached his limit, the armor dissipated into fire origin energy and entered the iron sword. The 24th strike appeared. Wong Lin's body made popping sounds, and 2 streams of blood flowed from his eyes. His expression became even more ferocious as he raised the sword again. The 25th strike formed, causing blood to spray from his chest as his wound reopened. His body trembled, but his powerful will kept him standing. With a miserable smile, he raised the sword again, producing the 26th strike. At this point, the All-Seer was finally moved. He told Wong Lin that what he was doing was useless because, with his first Heaven's Blight cultivation, at least 30 strikes from Wong Lin's pseudo-nirvana void treasure would be required to stop him from advancing. Wong Lin continued regardless. His vision was blurred, but he launched the 27th strike. Blood flowed from his orifices, yet he roared and threw the iron sword toward the All-Seer, producing the 28th and 29th strikes. Wong Lin's origin soul then began collapsing on a large scale. Although it had not completely dissipated, he became even weaker, using the collapse to exchange for greater amounts of origin energy. The iron sword erupted with even stronger light, and the 30th strike appeared. The attacks continued rapidly with the 31st and 32nd strikes. Wong Lin then roared, 3 strikes. Large amounts of blood gushed from his body as the final 33rd strike formed. The 33 sword strikes surrounded the All-Seer, and with one final point from Wong Lin, they released sword energy powerful enough to pierce the demon spirit land. It carried monstrous power and killing intent as it charged toward the All-Seer. While the rust on the iron sword fused into the sword light, a heaven-shaking impact erupted around the All-Seer. Everyone stopped their battles and looked toward the unimaginable collision. While even ancient devil Ta Jia revealed a strange expression, Ta Shan clenched his fist and trembled as he called Wong Lin, Master. Big Head's origin soul stared ahead, feeling indescribable pain. Situ Nan, who was fighting the All-Seer's avatar and was covered in blood, also stared toward Wong Lin with bloodshot eyes. A sword storm formed around Wong Lin and the All-Seer and connected to the heavens. The entire demon spirit land trembled violently. The earth collapsed, and the sky changed colors. Thunderous rumbles echoed as the sky was torn apart. exposing the endless space outside. The sword storm swept through the demon spirit land, causing it to collapse, while endless origin energy rushed in through the shattered sky. After the fierce impact dissipated, the All-Seer was still standing calmly. He held an ancient aura trident in his hand. However, most of his clothes had been torn apart by the force, and a large amount of his hair had also fragmented and disappeared. Wong Lin slowly fell backward from the towering pillar, his body filled with unwillingness, before plunging toward the collapsing earth. As he fell, he looked toward the torn sky with confused eyes and faintly saw his father and mother waving at him with kind smiles he had not seen for more than 1,000 years. These smiles existed only in the deepest part of his heart and were his most precious memories. Wong Lin thought perhaps this was for the best. He saw Li Muwan and Wang Ping behind his parents and realized that they had been waiting for him. As he continued falling, he thought of Situ Nan and Zhou Yi and apologized for being unable to fulfill his promise. He then closed his eyes. At that moment, two figures appeared in the sky above the demon spirit land: the old man from the brilliant void realm and Mu Bingmei. When Mu Bingmei saw Wong Lin falling from the pillar, her absolute beauty and usual endless coldness collapsed. A complicated feeling arose within her, and she lost control of herself. Taking a step and shooting toward Wong Lin, the old man frowned and sighed but did not stop her. Mu Bingmei moved like a fluttering butterfly and arrived beside Wong Lin, catching him. As she looked at the man so close to her, the complicated feelings in her heart could not be suppressed. This was, to be exact, the first time she had faced him directly. Mu Bingmei sighed and waved her jade-like hand, creating a crack from which a jade bottle containing a single pill flew out. The bottle was made from the finest celestial jade and contained numerous restrictions to preserve the medicine's effects. Showing the extraordinary value of the pill inside, she immediately took the pill out and placed it beside Wong Lin's mouth. The pill did not need to be swallowed. The instant it touched Wong Lin's lips, it transformed into two streams of milky white gas that entered his nostrils. Mu Bingmei then looked coldly at the All-Seer and declared that no one in this world could kill Wong Lin before she did. The All-Seer immediately became serious upon hearing "Brilliant Void Saintess." He retreated while holding his trident and looked toward the old man in the air. Recognizing him as Lu Yundao, the All-Seer asked whether the Brilliant Void Realm intended to become involved. Lu Yundao looked at ancient devil Ta Jia with a trace of remembrance and stated that Ta Jia was his target. Ta Jia also recognized him and was shocked that he had survived. Lu Yundao explained that he should have died, but brother Qing Lin had saved him. Although he and Qing Lin had a deep feud, he owed Qing Lin his life and would repay that debt through Ta Jia. Ta Jia released monstrous black devilish mist that formed a shadow attempting to devour Lu Yundao, and the two were soon enveloped in black mist as their battle began. Mu Bingmei placed Wong Lin down and flew toward the All-Seer. The All-Seer said he did not want to become an enemy of the Brilliant Void Realm and that Wong Lin had no relationship with her, so no one could stop him from killing Wong Lin. Mu Bingmei replied that he was not qualified to kill Wong Lin. She then created 8 identical avatars of herself and used Spirit Lock the Soul. Refine the heavens for energy. The 8 avatars formed seals, causing enormous amounts of origin energy to gather into a pillar that descended from the sky. The All-Seer attempted to use his Heavenly Fate spell, causing the origin energy pillar to tremble, but Mu Bingmei stated that his Heavenly Fate spell was useless against her. She reached into the void and gathered endless origin energy into a bamboo slip. When it opened, 7 colored light and countless runes emerged and surrounded her. Although she was only at the first heaven's blight, she declared that none of the origin energy within the brilliant void realm could escape her control. If she did not allow the All-Seer to obtain origin energy, he could not take even a speck of it. Mu Bingmei then commanded the runes to seal all of the All-Seer's external origin energy. Immediately, all origin energy surrounding the All-Seer separated from him, as though rejecting him, and rapidly dissipated. Only the origin energy already refined within his body remained unaffected. The astonishing spell left even the All-Seer with a gloomy expression. The All-Seer recalled the legend surrounding the brilliant Void Saintess. Her title had been passed down since ancient times, and even when celestials existed. Her status was comparable to that of the Celestial Palace. There were 4 celestial realms, each with a star system beneath it, and it was rumored that one person in each star system possessed an inheritance from the ancient celestial realm. The saintesses of the 4 star systems controlled different powers. The All-Seer had heard many rumors about the Brilliant Void Saintess when he once entered the Brilliant Void realm to cultivate. And he now confirmed that the rumors were true. Bingmei pointed at the origin energy pillar, causing it to rapidly shrink into a glittering short sword of light. Holding it, she moved toward the All-Seer like a butterfly. She still did not look at Wong Lin again. The complicated feelings in her heart made her unable to face this familiar stranger. Even she could not understand her own thoughts. She only knew that she could not watch Wong Lin die or remain indifferent while someone tried to kill him. An even deeper and more painful feeling made her unwilling to allow anyone to kill Wong Lin. This thought had remained in her heart for countless years. Many times, it had awakened her from cultivation late at night, causing her to stand alone on the highest mountain of the Brilliant Void realm and stare into the endless void while feeling as if her heart were bleeding. Today, seeing Wong Lin caused all the accumulated complexity and pain to fill her mind. She did not dare lower her head to look at Wong Lin, who might still be unconscious. She could only hold the short sword and charge at the All-Seer. Feeling that this was the only way to calm her heart, the All-Seer knew much about the Brilliant Void Saintess, but he had never expected her to be capable of sealing the origin energy of the entire world. This meant his heavenly fate spells had no effect on her. Heavenly fate spells work by communicating with the world, allowing him to obtain an intangible law for his use. He coldly snorted and swung his trident, sending 3 rays of light toward Bingmei. Amid the rumbling battle, Wong Lin opened his eyes on the ground, seeing Bingmei fighting the All-Seer. His eyes revealed complicated emotions and an ineradicable pain. He had not expected to meet her so soon, especially under such circumstances. Whenever he thought of Lu Mei, the pain in his heart was far greater than any physical injury. And thinking of the bitterness within Wang Ping's body made his heart hurt. Wong Lin sat in the lotus position and took a deep breath. He had exhausted his spells and seemed to have nothing left with which to fight against fate. However, he realized that he still had one more spell. He looked toward the endless space created when the sword storm shattered the sky of the demon spirit land, where powerful external origin energy surrounded the land. Although the azure light shield had been split in half, it had not disappeared. It still contained the life-saving blow of an 8-star ancient god. Wong Lin did not know how powerful that stored spell was, but it could not be weak. His right eye shone blue, and the vague image of the azure light shield appeared. The shield had been split in half and was rapidly fusing with his right eye. Even before the fusion was complete, the 8-star ancient god spell stored within it could still be used, provided there was enough ancient god power. Wong Lin had previously thought of obtaining ancient god power by separating his avatar and original body, allowing his original body to settle somewhere and slowly absorb ancient god power through the azure light shield. However, that method would take too long. He had originally planned to do it after leaving the demon spirit land, but he now needed a shortcut. Such a shortcut required him to pay a price. Looking at Lu Mei fighting the All-Seer, Wong Lin's gaze became firm. He decided that he did not need her to save him and did not want to owe her anything. The 5 ancient god stars between his eyebrows suddenly appeared and rotated rapidly, releasing a large amount of ancient god power into the azure light shield within his right eye. The blue light from Wong Lin's right eye became blindingly intense. Using his own ancient god power to fill the azure light shield came at an enormous cost. Although his stars did not shatter, exhausting his ancient god power caused the 5th star to become extremely dim. As long as the ancient god star did not shatter, however, it could recover. The azure light shield required an enormous amount of ancient god power. As the blue light from Wong Lin's right eye grew brighter, more power entered it, causing the 4th star to dim as well. Blue light exploded from Wong Lin's right hand and covered the surrounding area, attracting the attention of both Bingmei and the All-Seer during their battle. The 5 stars rotated faster and faster. The 3rd star dimmed, followed by the 2nd, and finally the last remaining star slowly faded as well. At that moment, the blue light from Wong Lin's right eye shot into the sky like a sword. He looked toward the 50-kilometer-wide pillar that had risen into the air because of the All-Seer's spell. Under Wong Lin's gaze, the pillar immediately rumbled, unable to withstand his power, and collapsed.